Hello, everyone. They're just working on my slides. Hello, how are you? Okay, we'll try that. One more time. Are you happy? How are you? It's my birthday today, so I think I deserve another round of applause, yes? I'm not 65, I'm 25. Okay, that's my story and I'll stick to it. Huh? Okay. Now, today we're going to talk about fame and celebrity and whether that necessarily brings you happiness. Do you think that fame brings people happiness? How many people think that fame brings people happiness? Wow, you're all very philosophically sound. So the rest of you think that fame actually... Okay, how many of you don't think that fame brings you happiness? Right. And the rest of you just don't care about me, right? Okay, I'm going to go and talk a bit about what I've studied. You know, when I was invited to do this talk, I was actually in KL, so I flew in this morning, and then I was in a taxi and I suffered an accident, but I'm still here fighting on for you because I want to be famous, right? Because TED is a big thing. So today we're going to talk about fame and see whether it actually helps us get famous. When I was actually researching on what makes people happy, I found that in the late 1990s, about 3 people whose names I cannot really pronounce came up with something called the happiness formula. So what exactly is the happiness formula? We have heard so many people talk about so many things today, and actually all of it can be encapsulated into the happiness formula. So what is the happiness formula? Well, happily, the happiness formula is SCV. You get what SCV is, right? Starhub Cablevision, well, no, it's not that. Okay, it's not SCV, it's S plus C plus V. So what does S stand for? S stands for your biological setting of happiness. And C stands for the conditions of your life. And V would be what Mr. William had been talking about, the voluntary acts that you take in your life to try to reach out to other people. So first, the biological setting that you have for your happiness. All of us inherit traits from our parents, yes? We more or less look like our parents, unfortunately, or fortunately in some cases. So in my case, not so fortunate lah. Okay, but what happened was, when we inherit like the hair color, we inherit our eye color, at the same time, we also perhaps inherit whether you are naturally a depressive or naturally an optimist. I think, like naturally, on a setting basis, biological setting basis, I'm more of an optimist. But there's some people who are born depressives. Have you seen those people before? Do you? Yeah. Well, some of you must be in here because you're not responding to me. Okay. When you're depressive, how do you know when you're around the depressive? You get depressed around them. So after you know, sometimes, because I'm Catholic, right? So I go to confessionals. Sometimes when you come out from confession, you feel very happy because the priest is like, oh yes, God loves me. And sometimes you come out going, oh my God, I'm the biggest sinner in the world and I should just kill myself, right? So it's whether you're an optimist or depressive, it's internal. But there's certain things that you can do about your biological setting, which we will talk about in brief. But basically, one story that I want to tell you is the mind seems to be divided. You know, we like to think of ourselves as one person, but in reality, it seems as if we are more like a community of people trying to get our act together and not always succeeding. You know, sometimes when I'm very fat now, so I maybe shouldn't eat too much, right? And the next thing you know, you're in KFC ordering like your favorite 3-piece meal and maybe one more piece at the side. You know what you should do, but you tend not to want to do it because you have something called the elephant. Oh, did I just spit? Okay, you have the elephant. At the same time, you have the rider. So there are 2 different creatures at least working internally inside you. The elephant is your basic primal need to go about, to want things, to achieve fame, to achieve prestige, to achieve all the things that you think will make you win at the game of life. Yes, do we all know our elephant? Clearly, I'm the only one with an elephant. At the same time, we also have something called our rider, which is the more seasoned one, which is the more sensible one, the one that knows the kind of things that we need to do, but doesn't always win because the elephant sometimes trumpets too loudly. Now, The elephant was shaped by natural selection to win at the game of life, to impress people, and to gain fame and fortune and all these kinds of things. And one of the celebrities that I've worked with recently gave me leave to be able to talk to you. They say when I come to this star, it's the best lighting for the best shot. So I just got to come here and smile a bit. Okay. Okay. How many of you know Michelle Cheung? Not personally, lah. Do you all know of Michelle Cheung? Hello? Do you know Michelle Cheung? Okay. Yeah. Just too lazy to raise your hand, huh? Your elephant very heavy. Okay. Michelle Cheung is recently, I mean, she should be very happy, right? She came out with a movie that sold millions in Singapore, then went over to Malaysia and did quite okay. And she directed, produced, and acted in it, right? I also have a small cameo in it. Have you seen it? No. You useless bums. Okay, now go watch it. The DVD is out. Okay, so basically, when I spoke to her and I asked her whether she was happy, she said no. And she's one of the funniest people I know. You know, she could go into a room and totally light up the room because she's just so funny. She's the person who plays Letitia on the news. She's the one who plays Barbarella, like thanks, everybody thanks, on the news. So she plays all these really happy and crazy and zany roles. And when I actually asked her whether she thought she was happy, she said no. She's actually unhappy. She's actually a depressive. She's actually taking medication for it. Right? Do we know that? We didn't know that. But when you ask, when I asked her, why are you unhappy? I mean, you just came up with what was maybe our most successful local film last year, and that you are a first-time filmmaker. Why are you unhappy? Then she said, I don't know. Doing the film was just something to spend my time doing. I thought I would get euphoric after I've done it, after it did well, but I didn't get euphoric. You know, sometimes the disappointment of success. It's like KFC. The thought of eating it is so wonderful, but after you eat it, you go like, what, damn oily, lor. Why did I like it? But you will keep going back and doing it at the same time. It's the euphoria that you thought that you would get, but you don't actually get from success. Right? You succeed at certain things. You know, last time when I was like very poor and I was in school, that's like, oh, $1,000 per month is a lot to me already. Then it went up, like $2,000 maybe, I'll be happy. And I never get happy chasing the rat race because I can always want for more. Right? So I can always want more. I can always want more things. And what Michelle said to me was, she said, then I said, what do you think would actually make you happy? Then she said, well, maybe a man. Then I was like, oh, then I cannot help you lah. But then she also said something else. She said, maybe religion. Then I went, oh, okay. So what have you done to try to explore religion? She said, where got time? You know, do you see? So this is elephant and rider. Do you get it? It's very deep, actually. So her elephant actually knows that all this chasing fame and all that doesn't really achieve very much for her. But the rider is too powerless to fight the elephant who is continuing chasing these things and not able to look for the things perhaps that would make her actually happy for the long term. So she says that periods, there are small points of time where she actually gets happy when she goes to the hawker center and she goes and the auntie recognizes her and says, oh, this Seow Zabo, okay, come, I give you bihun, I give you more bihun than I give other people. And she says she gets very happy from that because that person has a relationship with her, albeit not real, they don't really know her very well, but they recognize what she has done and gives her a little bit more bihun, and that little act makes her a bit happy. Okay, I think that's very deep too. Do you get it? Do you get it? You're a tough crowd. Okay. So, the biological setting of happiness, what can we do? Oh, did you see my picture with her? That was my birthday last year. This is my birthday this year. Okay. Do I look nicer now? Whatever. Okay, next. Genetically, we are all born with our biological setting of happiness, but there are certain things that we can do to try to change it. And there seem to be three main methods that people take to try to change their biological setting of happiness. You know, sometimes, I said, okay, what's the formula again? S plus C plus V. So sometimes, when you're doing very well in your C's and your V's, you might not even remember that your biological setting is actually very low because that net result that you get is actually very high. So you feel like, wow, I'm damn happy. But then one day, if that job goes away, or you lose an amount of money, or you you get banged down by a car and become a paraplegic, then your biological setting becomes very important. Are you a happy paraplegic? Are you a very depressed paraplegic? You know, that's the question. So biological setting is actually very important. There are 3 ways you can go about changing it, apparently. This is all studies that learned people have come up with. I didn't just come up with it myself. I'm merely an entertainment lawyer. So the first thing is meditation. Apparently meditation works. And every single religion I know seems to expound the virtues of meditation. I cannot sit still long enough for it. But how many of you actually meditate? Oh wow, really? Do you levitate as well? Some people, you don't know, right? Because it's so deep in it, right? No, but clearly there are people who find a lot of benefits in meditation. And then secondly, there's also therapy. You know, everyone blames their mother or their father for every single fault in their lives. Why are you poor? My mother lah. She never said I was good enough, so all my life, I'm not good enough lah. Whatever I do, not good. You know, we always have people to blame, but sometimes when you go for therapy, you learn to reframe the things that you see. A negative event could be reframed to be seen in a more positive way. Naturally, when bad things happen to me, I tend to go like, hey, okay, how do we go about like trying to solve it? You know, so there's some people who would do that, but there's some people who would go like, I knocked down the dog. It's all my fault. This is not Remy Ong. It's not my fault. It's why am I always doing such stupid things? And then they go into this whole vicious circle of like, it's all my fault, I'm useless. And then they get depressed as a result of that. Okay? So how do we reframe things? Therapy helps. When all fails, Prozac. Which I don't advocate because the side effects are quite heavy. Apparently some of my celebrity clients are all taking Prozac. Not all. Some of my celebrity clients are actually taking Prozac. You just wouldn't know it, seeing how happy they are. Next, the 10 seconds test. Now, can you think of one thing that could happen that could be the best thing that could happen in your life? Just throw out some answers. I'm out of screen. One good thing that would happen in your life, the best thing that could happen for you in your life right now. Marriage. There's so many things I can teach you. One thing for real. I may be entertainment lawyer, but I also do divorce and it's dirty. What thing could make you really happy? That's more like it. Okay, divorce. Okay, what's one thing that could happen to you that could make you really sad, that would totally destroy your life? Suddenly all very smart lah. Okay. I'm going to come up with 2 extreme examples. The first example is, yay, I won the $20 million lotto. Right? Very happy, right? Oh, yeah, we win Toto like that, very happy, right? Everyone's waiting for it. So that could be something really great that could happen to you because the study was based on this as the best thing that could happen to you. What's the worst thing that could happen? You get knocked down by a car and you become a paraplegic. You know, and you become a paraplegic. So after a year, who do you think is happier? The person who won the Toto or the person who actually got knocked down by a car and became a paraplegic? After 1 year, on average, who is happier? The lawyers are happiest? Yes, thank you. Marriage, divorce, we're all involved. Prenups and divorce, okay. Now, studies show that after a year, both of them actually go back to their biological setting of happiness. So if they were happy to start with, they became a paraplegic, they are a happy paraplegic. If they are a total winner, if they were depressive, they bury themselves in the money and die. You know? Very funny, huh? Okay. So, you see, they go back to their own biological setting, and I think there's a lot of truth in that. I have friends who have done very well in their careers, and whilst they're doing very well in their careers, they're very happy. But the moment the career goes away, they get completely depressed. They almost become someone that I'd never recognized before in them. But I didn't know that they actually had that biological setting to start with. So if you looked into yourself and you feel that there are some parts of you that need help, go for help. Lawyers can help too, as you can tell now. Next, conditions. The conditions of your life also help you to determine whether you are happy or not. And 2 conditions, because I only have 15 minutes, I have 3 minutes left. Okay, if you wanted to think of certain conditions that could make you happy. I think two conditions which are especially important are relationships. Everyone on their deathbed, they're not asking for their money. They're asking to see the people that are most important to them, the relationships that have been forged in their lives when they were still alive. There are two relationships of most importance. The relationship of the social network that you have around you. Some of you have many friends. Some of you, like me, don't have many friends. On Facebook, I only have 3,000 over. So if you want to add me, add me. Okay, so... So if you have a very strong network of friends, it makes you happier because when things go crap, you know, you can actually seek for assistance from your friends. At the same time, some people find a lot of solace and comfort and happiness in religion. I know it's a dirty word to say in certain parts of the world, but right now in Singapore it's quite okay because we're multi-religious, right? So there's so many multi-religions here. But whatever your religion is, a lot of people actually, you know, people I feel, and this is studies, people feel as if like some kind of spiritual element exists in everyone. Even in the harshest atheist, you know, there would be certain things that they would consider like almost sacred or quasi-divine. For example, if you're an atheist, you would still like think that your mother was someone that was given to you to help you, or if your mother is not very good, then maybe the place that you were born would be something that you would look at as some place almost sacred, almost divine. I think that all of our beings seem to want to approach that. So some of the celebrities that I have also, before that, I will quote the Bible. So this person in the Bible, the author of Ecclesiastes, wow, damn long. Okay, he had everything in the world to celebrate, right? He had everything. He wanted sex, he could have sex, he wanted... I'm out of screen again. You must tell me next time. Okay, so if he wanted wine, whatever that he wanted in his life, he got. But perhaps in the earliest statement of midlife crisis ever recorded in history, he then says this: "Then I considered all that my hands had done and the toil that I had spent in doing it, and again all was vanity and the chasing after wind, and there was nothing to be gained under the sun." So even though he had everything, he still felt as if he had nothing. So some people who feel that helping people actually works. Do you know Auntie Lucy? Yeah, so I say actor/actress. That was a joke. Okay. We all know he's actually male. Okay, so actor, actress, host. So Auntie Lucy actually says this. He says, it's very troublesome being famous, you know. The conditions of my life when you're famous actually very tough. You know, that he has gone through a tumultuous entertainment history. He was very famous once as a radio DJ. Then all of a sudden, the TV station dropped him, right? The radio station dropped him. And then he faded into some kind of obscurity until he fought back and dragged. And once he dressed up as a woman, everything worked. It's like Tootsie. Okay, too young to know Tootsie, is it? Who knows Tootsie? Yeah, you go. Yeah, only us. Huh? A bit sad. I'm actually 25 only, but you know, I research history a bit. Okay. He says it's very tough for me when I go out, you know, because sometimes I don't even want to get out of my house. Because every time I get out of my house, everyone would expect me to be someone. Everyone would expect me to be Auntie Lucy when I'm actually a man. Which is why, in his next movie, he plays a haunted man. Okay. So, the message is we need to interact and intertwine with people so that our lives have meaning. You know, there's no point staying sorry for yourself and just sitting there and being generally sad. It doesn't work, you know. If you want to be happy, go and establish some relationships. Even if you have to pay for it, I'm only $600 or $700 on a bad day per hour. Okay. And research has shown, as William has said, that helping people very often gives you more satisfaction than people helping you. So that's me and Irene Ang in Chiang Mai building a house for poor people. I've lost a lot of weight, yes. Thank you. Yeah, it's from building the house. Then next, Joy Chua. She said, she's Buddhist, so she says she thinks that fame itself doesn't actually make her very famous. This is my best side, by the way. She thinks Fame doesn't make her that doesn't make her happy. Fame, if she used it for positive purposes and went to help her Buddhist charities or other charities that she would help, that's when she feels that her fame is of meaning and gives her purpose. Okay, next. The conditions of your life. So, yeah, this is what I talked about earlier, so we'll just skip it. You know, it's very tough to look back and look at my slides. Okay, and conditions of your life, I talked a bit about religion just now. If a lot of religious people say that they find happiness in religion, why knock it? The truth is, there might be some truth in what they're saying. It may be that religion could be something that we should be looking for. And one person who espouses that is Elaine Daly. She's the one on the right. On the left is Andrea Savage, who's also very lovely. The one in the middle is the loveliest of all. Now, of course, fame makes me happy, but it's only temporary, right? Knowing God made me realize that it is deep relationships that truly brings me long-term happiness. I quoted her ungrammatically. Now, the last condition is V, which is the voluntary acts that you do. What do you do? Sometimes when we have a career and we're very happy in that career, we go into something called the flow. You know, sometimes how many of you play music? All these musicians, right? When you get into the flow, when you're playing something and you get into this transcendental state where everything seems to be going right. Or if you're working and you really enjoy your work and you're just working on it and it's a challenge, but it's a challenge that you on a daily basis, and immediately your boss says, well, you're doing very well. Then after a while, you just go into the flow and you're so happy with your career in general. I take a lower pay, I don't mind. It's better because I'm so happy doing this, right? If I'm very happy at my work and I'm very happy doing it, all the voluntary actions that I take, because most of the time we spend our time at work more than we do at home. So I voluntarily want to do this work. Some people, on the other hand, actually don't really like the things that they're doing. They're doing it to make a living. I just came back from KL. A lot of the counter people clearly don't enjoy the thing that they're doing. They don't even smile at me. Then I end up screaming at them and I get unhappy. No, but that was a joke. Okay, so flow happens when there is a clear challenge that fully engages your attention. You have the skills to meet the challenge and you get immediate feedback. When you are in the state of flow, your rider and your elephant works together seamlessly. Can I get my rider and my elephant picture? Don't you like this picture? I paid for it. So they work in perfect harmony with the elephant doing most of the work and the rider actually looking out for dangers and searching out the dangers, and both of them work together very well. So when you're in the flow, you're also very happy when you're doing your work. So I have to close up very soon, but we were basically shaped by two main influencing forces in our lives. So the first is our elephant, our primal need to gain fame and prestige and all that. And the second one is the one that actually we need to listen more to, the one that actually tells us that it's the social relationships that we enter into, it's the things that we do, it's the career that we find ourselves in, it's the knowing that we are in some kind of big picture rather than our lives being meaningless. I don't agree that life is meaningless. I think that I have a purpose in life, and my purpose in life is to make the world a bit more beautiful. But I met okay. I've interviewed so many celebrities for the purposes of this talk, right? I've only quoted a few of them because only a few of them allowed me to quote them. But at the same time, I was on, this is so pressurizing. Okay, I go to my nice spot again, hi. Okay. So, I was just on the taxi about a week ago, and I met this driver called Mohammed. Not the prophet, but yes. I met Mohammed. And Mohammed, then he said, are you happy? Then I was like, huh? Why so weird? Why you asking me whether I'm happy? You know, it's so weird, right? Then he said, are you happy? I said, I think okay lah. He said, you must be happy. You know, he says, I'm very happy all the time. Then I said, why are you very happy all the time? Which was refreshing for me, knowing that so many of my celebrity clients were actually secretly depressives. So I asked him why he was, and he said, I know that I have a meaning in my life. I used to be very poor. right? Now I'm still very poor, but I have a meaning in my life. Now I know every time a passenger comes up to my taxi, I will ask him whether he's happy. And if he's not happy, I will try to make him happier. So I will talk to him and I will tell him that I've found this precious thing. And this precious thing is, I know that there is a meaning in my life. And all of us have a reason why we are here. And that reason why we are here is contributing to creating God's world. That's what he says. Whether or not we find that statement valid, I personally do find it valid because it's quite Christian as well. So, but whether or not we believe in that, the very fact that he is so happy while so many celebrities are not happy brings me to a conclusion that fame actually doesn't necessarily bring you happiness. It does in some cases when you use your fame for good. Then you're in the flow, right? But fame per se doesn't bring you happiness. And I think that's a conclusion that we can all draw. All of you drew this conclusion from the very beginning of this talk anyway. I'm just here to consolidate that. Thank you very much. Wish me happy birthday, sorry. Thank you. Thanks.